Yeah, actually, my folks' folks came to this place. They came to this place and started in potatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
And I can remember picking potatoes,
Yeah.
and that was terrible.
So like,
We could live in far worse places than gypsum.
yeah.
I mean, I've had my run-ins with Jeff Schroll, and Lord knows we're going to have a few more. But for the most part, I think Jeff and the town of Gypsum do a pretty fair job.
Yeah.
I mean, what better community you live in? I go out and farm in communities, and their high school or their grade schools are the first year. I guess
shop.
it happened with my great grandfather.
Yeah.
He came here and put the place above there, 160 acres we bought into potatoes. And with that money, he made enough to buy this 160 acres.
Yeah.
And then in I think it was 1995, we added onto the farm another 150 acres. That came down through a family. We had to buy out a couple partners, and we bought that. And then I leased the majority of the ground from Goldsmith. There's 1,000 acres. And I can remember still with my dad, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going over Vail Pass wasn't the bad one. It was that goddamn Eisenhower. Going around that. Loveland.
Yeah.
Loveland Pass.
Yeah.
There you go. In a 57 International truck. And we still have it. A 57 with a Lotus Bugs. You know what? We take 7 tons of potatoes to town with this thing.
Yeah.
And
we would, and all our houses.
7 tons in a flatbed?
Yeah, in a 2.5 ton
it's
truck.
a bigger truck.
It's a bigger truck.
Yeah.
And then all our houses were heated with coal.
Yeah.
So we would go up to the mines. That's how I learned how to drive truck.
Which mine? Not Paonia. Is there a closer one?
No, we'd go up to Hayden.
Okay.
And the old Edna mine there, just outside of. In the Albertson place, you know, it's sold out. Those cattle are out. The other place is Dave Main's place. He sold out. He went to Missouri. You know, that's the Chatfield Corners place. Yes, this subdivision up here was really never the Cow Calf Ranch, the Harts Travel Ranch.
Here's leasing is really important to the business. To be able to lease the neighbors' land. Back, 50 years ago, you could make a living on
100 acres.
100 acres. Why was that?
Well, it was easy because, the times are just different. Times are just different. You didn't have to. You didn't have expensive stuff.
I mean, everything's more.
I actually had bought out a couple parcels of ground that's now the airport. I lived down there for several years, and I bought out his portion of cattle. And really, I'm raising 400 head on about the same amount of acres I had 100 head on years ago.
So why can you raise so many more now?
Well, our irrigation practices are better. The hay's better.
Gotcha.
The equipment's better to put it up. What really is going big is these little family or these farmers markets. And maybe that's something we should start catering to in the next few years.
Make a few acres to try to supply.
That's the other thing. The problem with raising beef around here, it's trying to feed it through the winters. I tell the normal people in the world that we feed 6 months a year in the winters, and they just look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But we do it, and the profit margin isn't.